Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Dental Momentum Podcast, powered by Duckett Ladd Dental CPAs and Advisors. Jared Duckett back at you with another video to help you get better. So guys, we've done a lot of work already, right? Again, I say at the beginning, go back and listen to a couple of the episodes, but if you have and have done those exercises, then number one, you've thought through what that practice is that supports the life you want to live, what it looks like. B, do have great experience. You've pictured it, right? Got it written down. What does that practice look like? Number two, you thought about the analogy of the spigot, right? That the water coming out of that spigot is the take-home pay. At the end of the result, how much do you want to support the life you want to live? How much water needs to be coming out? And now what we're going to do is start diving in to the spigot. What are the issues in your dental practice that is maybe not allowing you to get the water out that you want, right? And what I want to do in our proven process right here at our firm, what we do when we start working with clients, the first step in our proven process is the diagnosis stage. And what I want to do here is talk about that. Okay. I'm going to go through the 8 categories that we look at on our financial scorecard. I'm looking over here. It's our dental financial scorecard, right? 8 different categories we break down to say, how are you doing in those categories? Okay. In future episodes, what we're going to do is dive into each of these categories, take it right back to the spigot, right? How, by improving these, could improve and open up that spigot to make it any wider, right? But first, before we go through them all, I want you guys to rank yourself. Diagnose yourself. You do this all the time, right? Diagnose yourself just like your patients. How do you think you're doing in these areas, right? I'm going to put a link to this here in the description of the video. Just click the link, download this, take the test. I'm giving you a lot of to-dos. You're going to start watching these videos, right? But these are going to make you better. So I'm going to look over here at the scorecard, the 8 different categories we go through. Production, right? The production, that is the water that is coming through at the beginning of the spigot. Think about the source of it. Is your production good? Are you doing the production in your practice that allows you to take home what you want? Rank yourself. 1 to 12, that's the scale we look at, right? Maybe you're a 6. Maybe you're a 12, knocking it out of the park. You mean you're just blowing it up, right? But rank yourself and see where that's at. Overhead profitability. It's all about what you take home, what the profit is, right? If you're blasting through and doing $1.5 million of production a year, but your overhead is 75%, is that worth it? Does that make sense? Or could you just scale back a little bit more and make the same amount of profit as you did with that amount of production? Again, the overhead is almost that stuff that's clogging up that spigot, right? You got enough water going in, but not enough's coming out. Something's stuck inside, right? That's the overhead. That's that high overhead profitability. Let's figure out where it's off. Let's clean it up so we can have more cash, more water running out the bottom, right? Rank yourself. How are you on overhead? Collections. Again, go back to my example. Maybe you're producing net adjusted production, $1.5 million. Let's say you're only collecting 90%. You're leaving 10 points on the table, right? 10 points is still waiting to be collected from patients, insurance. 10 points is a lot. 10 points on 100 or on 1.5 is $150,000. How about we work on that? By increasing the collections, you think that's going to make the water more in the spigot? Absolutely. Rank yourself. Take home pay. We've already thought about that. Watch last episode. Maybe some people don't know what they want. Now that you've come up with that amount, are you making that? Is that amount of water coming out? Or no, it's not, Jared. I want more. And that's fine to want more, but I want more take home pay. Rank yourself. Are you making what you want? If not, scale of 1 to 12. Cash. We talked about it. The money that's coming out, the water that's coming out from that practice that's generating that cash. You've got to keep some of it in that practice, right? You can't drain all the cash out. You got to keep cash in that practice to sustain it for tough times. We all just went through COVID, right? You guys needed some cash there. Wish you would have maybe had more cash. Let's talk about that. How do you think your cash reserves in the practice are now? Is it what you want? Rate yourself. We'll see where it's at. Debt position. Same thing. The water comes out. It's got its cash reserves. It's got to pay debt. Maybe you have no debt in your practice. It's a great thing. You know, it's a great thing. Or maybe you're strapped by debt. You feel it like it weighs on you. Rate yourself. Where's it at? Okay. Growth. If you're not growing, you're dying. Maybe you're comfortable, your production's good, but you still need to grow a little bit every single year. If you don't, you're going to be taking a step back. How's your growth? Are you tracking it? And then also to go in line with that, the marketing and reputation. Have you ever stopped to think about that? What is my reputation in the community? What do my Google reviews look like? What are people out there saying about my services? What are my patients saying? If you want to grow, are you doing any marketing? Are you doing marketing in the right way? Again, all these things, these 8 different things directly correlate back to the spigot and are going to allow you, if you hit all these on a 12-point scale, your spigot should be wide open and everything's going. I doubt everybody's at a 12. I bet if you take this test, be hard on yourself too. Be honest. Don't just go through it willy-nilly. Be honest. Grade yourself where you're at. Okay? Download the spreadsheet. Just a PDF. Download it here in the notes, right? Click on it. Take the test. Okay? Next episode, we're going in. Okay? We're going on these 8 categories. But before we dive in, I want you to know how you think you're doing on these before we get in. Because if we didn't take this test, right? If you didn't grade yourself on the scorecard, you could get into production, right? We're going over production. You're like, yeah, I think I'm good there. Are you really good? Well, now that we're talking about it, yeah, I think I'm pretty good. No, before we get in, grade yourself now. Okay, take the test. Let's dive in. And one key point I want to say here, talk about this with clients all the time. Again, be honest and hard on yourself. But if you go through and there's several of them that maybe you rank yourself as like a 6, 7 or somewhere in there, the key thing is then don't go out and be like, hey, I'm going to fix them all at once. Okay, I'm a big fan of simultaneously versus sequential. I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth here. But don't go out and do everything at once. Pick 1 or 2, right? Just like the golfer. Analogy I use all the time, the golfer who goes out and tries to fix his golf swing. That's me, right? Terrible at golf. I'm the world's worst at going out, hitting balls the first of the year, and then being like, man, I'm terrible. My grip's messed up. My backswing's messed up. I'm not rotating my hips. I'm not, swinging my wrist over, any of that stuff. I'm not shifting my weight. And I start working on like 11 things at once. Guess what? If I work on 11 things, nothing's going to get better. So long story short, take the test and pick out 1 or 2 of these items that you're like, man, I'm going to fix this first. This and this I'm going to go after next. What's that most important next step, most important next step that you need to do in your practice to get better? This is going to tell you. Okay, take the test, bring this to you next week. Next episode, we're diving into the first category. We're diving into production. Okay, and we're going to diagnose production to see where you're at, how you can fix things in that practice to make it better. So guys, I appreciate you. You guys all go out there, get better, take the test. We'll see you next time. Take care.